Good morning. I'll try to do a better job today than I did the last time. Maybe we got a little more in line. Our subject this morning is building an effective leadership team and going over basically the fundamentals of team leaders. And it's based on J.J. Turner's book, chapters 2 through 5. And leadership, let me get this thing to see if I can get it right here. Get where I need to be. Here we go. Leadership begins with character. According to 1 Timothy 4:12, Paul instructed Timothy to be an example to the believers in word, in conduct, in love, in spirit, in faith, and in purity. And so leadership really begins with character. And what we mean by character is our personality traits, a whole lot of them. A leader is rooted in personal character. Paul instructed Timothy to be an example, like we said, and he was told not to let anyone despise his youth, to be an example. And he talked about all the things that he was to be an example in his word, meaning was not only in word, in his speech for the gospel, but his daily word. Our daily words. We're to be an example in our daily words. The words we use all the time. We need to watch our speech and our conduct. We have to be a person of a good conduct. And we have to be a person that loves. And we have to be what do we mean by being a conduct? And next one there is being a conduct in spirit. What do we mean by that? Anyone want to comment on that?
Well, when you think of character and we're talking about spirit, I think we've all been around negative people where they're just pessimistic. And instead of being somebody you want to be around, you just don't want to be around them because they're so pessimistic. And we've been around people, again, that are encouraging, people that we like to be with. We feel better when we're around them. They lift us up. And so are we a person that will tear somebody down or build somebody up? And it could be by our words, by our actions, how we approach people. So that general spirit to me is maybe your attitude. What attitude are we expressing?
I think you're exactly right on that, Ed. Our spirit has to do with our overall personality, to be of a pleasant spirit, one that's spiritually minded also. It's the whole compass of spirituality in our daily lives and in our spiritual lives too. And of course, then we should be in faith. We should be people of faith. We should be grounded in faith if we're going to try to be a leader. In purity, as he talked about there, We need to be as free of sin as we possibly can be. People know when you sin willfully. Sometimes we falter in sin, but there's a big difference in our daily life should be free of as much as possible of sin and things that are of a bad character and bad nature if we're going to be any kind of a leader, especially in the work of the church as we mainly are talking about. But that goes a long way in secular work too, if we have those kind of characteristics. And a man's character is defined character is defined by one's total self, I guess you'd say. It's the whole being of all of his actions and the way he handles himself. And we can have a good character, or we can have a bad character, can't we?
Okay, turn me on again. I've heard it said that, reputation is what other people think about you. Character is what God thinks about you and knows about you.
That's a good thought there too, yes. Leaders must develop a good character to be effective as a leader, especially in the Lord's church. And how do we build good character? You think about, when I think about building good character, we have to have Christ-like attitude, and we have to develop our lives around the fruits of the Spirit, really, don't we? As we have talked about in the past. And the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. So let's just talk about those attributes. Love. If we have the right character, we have to learn to really love and appreciate people. Get along with people. And joy. A Christian and a leader shouldn't be a sad-faced person all the time, should he? We should be a people of joy. Somebody that people like to be around, like to associate with. Peace. Be a peaceable person, not argumentative. What do we mean by long suffering? Long suffering is patience. We don't fly off the handle real quick. We don't get mad quick. When people do things, we're patient with them. Christ himself is very long-suffering, wasn't he? And he's long-suffering toward us. Gentleness. We need to be somebody that's, like we said, of a good spirit, somebody that's gentle with folks. We can't be of a mean nature. I think we all know what goodness is. And faith, if we're going to be a leader, we need to have spiritual faith in Christ. But there again, we have to have faith in what we're trying to do. Not only be a person of faith toward God, we got to have that to be a spiritual leader. but we got to be committed and have faith and believe in what we're trying to accomplish. Meekness is just somebody that's humble. Humility. And temperance is somebody that's even-tempered. They're not hot-tempered, quick to anger. It means that we're pretty much easygoing folks as far as our Christianity should be. And these traits define our character. And we need to, if we're going to be a leader, or even in our Christian walk, we all need to be developing those characteristics of the fruits of the Spirit. Without those, we're going to be lacking in the day of judgment if we're not careful. Some of the characteristics that make a good leader is a good personality. And that's kind of what we were just talking about in the fruits of the Spirit there in Galatians 5:22 and 23. We got to possess all of those. That personifies our personality.
I was just going to make a comment.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that chart that's behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in front of you. But on that first one, but leadership begins with character, there's I see a circle with arrows on it. It makes me think about what goes around comes around, or what comes around goes around.
Yeah.
That, if you're, say, an employer or a boss at work, and you expect your employees to be honest and to have that good character, are you of that nature? Can they trust what you say? Are you, a man of your word? If your boss tells you something, can you depend on it? Or you can say, well, I really don't know. I really can't trust him.
No.
But so if we are people that people can trust and have confidence in, and maybe tell us something that, other people, we're not going to spread it,
Mm-hmm.
that they'll put trust in you. And so I think what you as elders are doing encourages us and helps us to be, better people all the time. And the more you encourage us, the more we'll want to do and do better. So I can say, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, as you say, we're talking about leadership in general. Are we wanting a better congregation, a better church? Well, yeah, but it begins with me.
That's true. We also, other characteristics that we need to possess is a good attitude. Attitude goes a long way, don't it? Attitude really defines personality. Why? Because our attitude comes out in actions eventually, doesn't it? If we have a bad attitude, we usually are hot-tempered, or a lot of times we're we come across as being a negative person. So we've got to possess good attitudes to be a good leader and to be a good Christian. And Ed struck on something else there, credibility. We got to be people that do what we say when we say we'll do it, follow through with the work, people that are dependable. If you ask somebody to do something, we need to be credible enough to take care of it. Timely, orderly, and especially a leader has to have credibility. and possess all those attributes of what it takes to be credible, as Ed was talking about. Yeah.
And their character far outweighs their appearance. I mean, you can look at someone and be associated with them, and their faith fits into this character, you know. So this is how we judge a lot of people, by their character, not by their appearance.
Mhm.
Some people judge people by their appearance. They'll look at somebody and they don't like them and they don't even know them. So it's the character build it goes a long ways in a person, and who that person is and how they act and what people think about them.
That's very true. And the next thing I would think that a leader has got to have some courage, hasn't he? We've got to stand for what's right. We got to have faith in ourselves as to what we can do, and have faith in our fellow man, but the courage to follow through when things not going exactly our way. We still got to have the courage and the stamina to follow through with our actions and whatever it takes to get the job done, especially in one back yonder, especially when we're talking about responsibilities in church leadership. I can't hear you. Mm-hmm. Okay.
There it is. I said a good positive attitude is contagious, but a bad negative attitude is also contagious. Because you're around either one of them, you tend to follow that attitude.
You're very true there. If you've got a bad attitude, the people that are trying to follow you are going to have a bad attitude too. If you've got a positive and good attitude, people are a lot more apt to follow you.
This is something we have to learn that starts at home at a very young age. And you develop on it daily. Your parents help you to develop that as you grow. And it takes daily. You don't just stop at a time and have it all. You have to work every day to develop the character that you should have.
It's an everyday, like Mike said, it's an everyday thing. It's not a one-time thing. Are we born with our character? We're not, are we? Now we're going to pick up some characteristics of people we're around, but we learn our character. And if we were born with the character that we're going to have, the Bible will be liar, because what does it say about when you become a Christian? You're converted. That means you change. So if you can't change your character, the Bible's wrong.
The time you leave home, your parents should see that you're around proper character and proper people to help you develop those things.
That's true.
Always through high school, you have to be around proper people.
But then again, each person is responsible. The parents have a big responsibility when you're young to try to instill a good character in you. But in the end, when we're an adult, we've got to build our own character, and we're responsible for our own character. And one way to do that is to have our best friends as people of good character themselves, that are Christian, Christ-like, and things like that. And like I say, we got to have courage to follow through with our actions, and then we got to have faith in what we're doing, whether it's either in spiritual leadership, we've got to have faith in Christ and His promises, but we also got to have faith in the job we're trying to accomplish and our abilities to do it. We have to have faith in ourselves. We have to be friendly. That goes back to the attitude. Part of attitude is friendliness. Friendliness and kindness kind of go together too, don't they? A friendly person is usually fairly kind, but somebody that's unfriendly is usually not very kind in a lot of ways. So we need to work on our friendliness and kindliness, and we need to be people that are optimistic to be a leader. Does a pessimist ever get much done? Can he? If we're always looking at the negative side of something, or always take a negative approach, it's hard to get anything accomplished. Hard to get anybody to follow you. Go ahead.
I was just going to add, he was talking about having faith in God and yourself, but I'm also thinking about having faith in others. Sometimes it's, I'm just going to give a situation I know of. A preacher was preaching in a local congregation, and he said, "I can't trust the elders." And I didn't ask why. I didn't ask the circumstances. But, what I see here is Odie trusts you, and I think you trust them. Congregations that I worked with, again, I could trust the members when they said something to me. But unfortunately, there must be elderships that don't live up to the word, or they don't trust. I'm thinking of David Lipe, not in that situation, but in another situation. He was told something by a professor, and again, it didn't turn out to be true. It was somebody that he knew that I know, and it broke his heart. So we need to be people that we can trust one another, and when we say something to one another, that we can depend upon it.
Yeah, I've heard of stories like that where people didn't feel like they could talk to their eldership because of they didn't trust them. I hope that's not a case here. I think, in my opinion, all the eldership is very trustworthy. But evidently, like he had said, that's not evidently not true in every place from some of the things that I've heard over the years. And I've heard it from some people that have come here to worship instead of worshiping somewhere else. They didn't feel like they could had a good leadership, and that's what we want to avoid here at Mount Carmel is getting people that are not good leaders, putting them in positions where they're not good leaders. And that's a very, very, very discouraging thing to have somebody in leadership that you can't trust and depend on. And that don't matter if it's an elder, a deacon, or just a regular member. We need to have, as Ed said, we need to have faith in people. We need to be able to trust them, and we all need to be trustworthy. We also need to be a person of agreeability to a lot of extent, don't we? Not be somebody that's always it's my way or no way. If there's listen to people. If there's a better way, listen to it. Don't just shrug it off every time somebody says something or be argumentative about it. A good leader should have, I'm staying on this first topic a long time because it's a lot in that character, being a good character. A leader should have a good level of wisdom, shouldn't he, and knowledge. Especially in the eldership, but in anything, even in secular work, if we're going to be a leader, we need to have a little bit of knowledge. We don't have to know everything, but we need to have a little knowledge of what we're doing. We can, where we can guide people, because we can't do it all. We don't know it all, but we need to have enough wisdom to know that there are people that we can put to do this and take care of that, and know that they got the expertise to do it, don't we? And that's part of our character. And here's a big one right here. A leader has got to be a good listener, hasn't he? What does James 1:19 say? It says to be swift to hear and slow to speak, doesn't it? So that means that we need to be a listener. If we're going to be a leader, we need to be a listener. We also need to be an encourager. We need to be able to encourage the people that are working with us. And for us, so we don't need to be a discourager. We need to be an encourager. Even if you have to rebuke somebody or correct them in some way, it needs to be in an encouraging manner, doesn't it? And then we have to have self-control. That's a big one too, isn't it? Self-control. You need to be one that controls our emotions. You need to be one that controls, and that includes our anger and all manner of things. We're not to be, if we're going to be a leader, we can't be one that just flies apart every time something goes a little right, if we're going to be a leader. But we have to be of good control, self-control. You know, a man's personality, a good attitude, and his credibility will carry us a long way at being successful as a leader, not only in church work, but in secular work. Those are the three main ingredients of being a good leader. That and that of faith. All right, we'll move on to the next one there. It says leaders model expectations. Whatever we expect out of someone else, we first got to show that same characteristic, don't we? Because if we don't show that same characteristic, they're not going to show that characteristic in their work usually. So, somebody tell me some other things that a leader should model his expectations of others from. What are some other things that you can think of? But it should be in anything that we do, whether it's helping someone, all things of aspects. If we expect somebody else to model us, then we need to, or expect them to do something. We need to have the ability to do it ourselves, our willingness to do it. If we're not willing to do it, we shouldn't ask anybody else to do it. Any other comment? And team health reflects leader health, doesn't it? If we don't have a healthy leader, usually we're not healthy followers, because there's miscommunications and all types of things when we don't have healthy leadership. So we need to. The leader needs to be one of all of these things that we just talked about. And a healthy team begins with being spiritually grounded. Leaders got to be spiritually grounded. And the way we do that is by following what Paul tells Timothy in 1 Timothy 4:13 says, give attendance to reading, to doctrine, and to exhortation. And also in 2 Timothy 2:15 he says to study to show thyself approved unto God, a man that needeth not to be ashamed. So we need to have the right attitude, the right spirituality, the right faith, the right credibility, and all those things. Credibility, as we already talked about, it goes a long way with our influence. If we don't have good credibility, we don't have any influence. We can't influence people to do what's right and to follow if we're not one of credibility. Look like I ain't gonna finish a whole lot today, but the elders want to come up and say anything for me. If time's right back there, it's about 3 or 4 minutes before class ends. If y'all want to come up, and I guess I'll finish next Sunday, maybe. It's not hardly enough time to get started into the next phase of it there. So we'll just pick up there next Sunday. What about regular Bible readers? Raise your hand.